imagery. And when I looked at the book, The Orange Duffel Bag, I just thought to myself, wow, this is breaking all the rules, and I love it. Like, that's great, because in order to make change occur, sometimes you have to break the rules. So
absolutely,
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So the reason you're in Oregon is because, Kevin, you're embarking on what is now your second or third?
Third.
Your third 50 states, 50 concerts tour. And what this is you are actually going to a state a day and doing a house concert or a club concert to raise money for the Orange Duffel Bag Foundation and to promote the causes that the book is all about. And you're in Oregon for the very beginning of this 50-state tour.
And we said we're going to Gresham, right? If we're lucky.
Yeah, we're going to go.
Yeah, we're going to go to Gresham next week.
Yeah, he's going across the country.
Yeah, he's in Alaska
Albany, woohoo!
Yeah. So.
But it's really an honor to have you both here. I'm honored to have been involved with your concert a year ago when you came to Oregon. We met via Twitter. It was all social media. So talk a little bit about how this got started, because it really is because of social media.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we were talking earlier, and I realized that we were talking about the problem with homeless kids, that the connectivity, they need mobile phones, they need computers to be able to operate. And we were talking about social media and how cool it was, what great things can happen. You know, a lot of social good can happen from social media and the use of it. And that's suddenly thought we would not be sitting here if I hadn't tweeted out last year that I needed a show in Oregon. And the life of a tweet is like, you know, depending on your stream, is like 30 seconds or a minute or
That's
5
ancient.
minutes. And so you just happen to be looking at your computer screen when my tweet rolled by, and you responded, and here we are.
Here we are. Last year's show was so inspiring and so moving that the minute you left town, it was like, I'm in for next year. Here we go. So here we are. And then the whole Orange Duffel Bag movement began. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure where to begin here, because it really is an incredible story. Jan, you're the journalist. Pick it up from here, because it's really an incredible story.
Well, we featured this story in the October issue of Goodness Magazine, and often foster kids or homeless kids who are shuffled amongst the various systems never really have a chance to have a voice or a sense of permanence. And for you, I just think keeping it basic, there was a passion and a passion for you. Let's just hone in exactly what it is that we're sitting here having a conversation about this gorgeous book, and what it is that you feel, if you could let everybody know that there's something out there, a voice, a story,
Motivation.
a moment in
mentor, a helper.
time. Yeah, that everybody needs help and everybody needs something, but especially for these kids.
And maybe it starts with Sam's story, Echo.
Yeah, the fellow I wrote about, Sam Bracken, he grew up around mobsters and motorcycle gang members in Las Vegas, and just in a kind of whacked out family. He describes it as the Brady Bunch on an episode of Cops. And he, at 15, was abandoned by his mom. She joined the Hessian motorcycle gang. And he kept his homelessness secret from his high school, bounced around, couch surfed, and he somehow managed to work, go to school, and play football, and he ended up getting a full-ride football scholarship to Georgia Tech. The name of the book, My Orange Duffel Bag, comes from the fact that when he moved from Las Vegas to Atlanta, everything he owned fit in an orange duffel bag.
Tell me your name. I know your name, but
Samantha Lawson.
yeah. And tell me, what's your story?
Well, I want to start off by saying that, you know, physical scars fade, but emotional scars will stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it started 7 years old. My parents got divorced, and my mom abandoned me pretty much and left me with my dad, and he's an alcoholic. And so pretty much starting at the age of 7, I was, excuse my language, his little is what he used to call me. I used to have to clean the house all the time, constantly. I never got to do anything. I had to make him meals. breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if it wasn't cooked right, or if it was too hot for him or too cold for him, he'd throw it in my face. Plate and everything. Just throw it in my face. Just, you're nothing but a, excuse my language again, nothing but a little bitch. You are nothing to me, you know. And that's what I dealt with. You know, I had to raise him. I had to nurse him back to health from alcohol poisoning, from spider bites, from he'd get like ticks and stuff too because we lived on a farm. And so I'd have to like cut open his skin to get his ticks out because he's like, help me, you know, I can't do it by myself. And yeah. And when I was 15 years old, I ran wild. You know, I was like, you know, I don't need you anymore. And I went to a party, and one of my ex-boyfriends was there, and he was a lot older than me, and he had raped me and beat me and all that kind of stuff. And we went to court for it, and he only got 43 days in jail. And my dad forgave him, and he wanted him to come around more and come around. And I'm like, Dad, why are you doing this to me? Dad, why are you doing this to me? And he's like, because I can and I will. He always used to tell me that. And a couple weeks after I was raped and beaten, my dad brought his homeless friend over, and he tried to rape me. And so that was just a constant cycle. I always had to protect myself. I couldn't rely on anybody my entire life, just myself. And that made me stronger, but it's something that a 15-year-old girl shouldn't see. And finally, my big break, pretty much, was when I was 16, my dad went to jail for 6 months, and we got kicked out of our house, and I had to, by myself, move out of our house. By myself, 16 years old. No family to help me, nobody but 2 of my friends that helped me move out of my house. And I put all my dad's stuff in storage, and all I took was the clothes in a big black trash bag, like my orange duffel bag. I had a big black trash bag full of my clothes. Still till this day, I only have my clothes with me. And that's like really important to me, actually, are my clothes. Like, they are my security blanket, my clothes. Like, it's something that somebody on the streets can only, know, because like, I don't have the whole, cell phone. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have the luxuries of other people. I have my clothes, and that's my security blanket. And
they keep you warm.
Yep. And my dad he tries to call me every once in a while. He'll call me when he's drunk, and he'll be like, oh, I still love you, I want to see you and stuff. But then he'll be like, 5 minutes later, I'll try to tell him something like, oh, hey, Dad, I did this in school today, I'm getting straight A's. And he'll be like, well, you're nothing but a little anyways. You're nothing but a little bitch anyways. So I don't care if you're getting good grades. You're still a little in my eyes. And he's still to this day, he haunts me. He, like a few weeks ago, yeah, he won't give me any of my birth certificate, my, identification. I can't get my ID. I'm 18 years old, and I can't get my ID because my father won't let me. I've never been able to go to dances. I've never been to prom. I've never been to a football game. Like, it's a crazy lifestyle that I've had to go through, and I want to reach out to other people and show them, if I can get through this, and if I can be an optimist, then you can do it too. That's what I want to prove to other people. I want to help kids like me. And, Mary Ellen, she saved me. Her and her daughter took me out from this disgusting house. I've jumped, let me try and count the houses I've been at. One, my boyfriend's house, which ex-boyfriend now, my dad's crazy friend that lasted a couple weeks because they were meth heads and they were in and out of the house all the time, just like random people, rich people who accused me of being no good because I wasn't like them, because I wasn't rich, because I had no family. So I was nothing to them. So I moved out of there.
How did you? What was that situation? How did you meet them?
Well, I actually went to school with her. Her name was Tori. And I went to school with her, and so she was like, oh, well, my family's rich, you can move in with us. And so I was like, oh, that's awesome, that's a good opportunity for me. Couple weeks down the road, maybe about a month or down the road, it started to be, you have no family, and, you're just nothing to us, we're better than you, and all that stuff. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to have to find somewhere else to stay, because I was so stressed out there that I got nosebleeds every night. I don't get nosebleeds. I get nosebleeds every night. That was just a bad place. And so then I moved in to my friend Tasha's house that I met at school also. And it was going good for a while, a couple months. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But then she started doing drugs, like meth and cocaine, and I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't be around this, So I moved to Dayton to one of my old neighbors' house when I was really little, and they were in their 40s and stuff, so they were like my parents, So I was like, called them mom and dad, tried to have that family type thing. But then they used me. They would take all my money, all my food stamps for food, and use it on them, and they wouldn't give me any food. They would, keep me in one room, and it was the smallest room in the house. It was like a closet. It was supposed to be a closet, pretty much. They kept me in there and only fed me 2 meals a day, one before school and one after school. That's it. No snacks or anything. So I was like, I can't live like this, so I moved into...
How old were you then?
That was just, before I met her, yeah.
Yeah, right before me.
Yeah.
My daughter.
And how did you guys meet?
Well, my daughter's 18. She goes to the same high school that she wanted to get into but was not able to last year
because
she
my
was
dad...
17 and wouldn't give them the birth certificate.
No, my dad called them and was like, don't let her in because I want her to go to Mack High School, which is McMinnville, Oregon. And since I moved to Dayton, Oregon, my dad's like, well, I don't want her to do that. I want her to be in McMinnville because it's closer to me. So I can control her. He is a very controlling person. He's a very abusive and controlling person.
Right.
And so he called Dayton High School and was like, don't let her in.
So you haven't officially been in the foster care system?
They wouldn't let me in. When I was 15, because the rape case, I had a caseworker, and she said that I was too old to get into foster care and not old enough to become emancipated and be on my own because I had to have parent supervision. So I was just stuck with my dad. She just left me with him until he went to jail.
Those are the kids that fall through the cracks. Those are the kids that need to be helped.
I was
Not
one of the
just
ones
foster
that
care.
fell through the cracks.
It's the ones that go in between the lines and they say, no, you can't do this because of this way and you can't do this because of this way. And too bad, you're just going to have to make it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do. I was on the streets for a couple weeks by myself. I slept in parks. I slept in those big slides, those round slides, and a couple of my guy friends would be like, well, I don't want you sleeping in the park alone, so I'll sneak out of my house tonight so that I know you're safe. And those are my brothers, the brothers of my street, And so that was a really interesting time. Thankfully, it was in the summer, so
Just this past
so
summer.
it was
I know,
just
summer
and
before.
thankfully it was in the summer, so I wasn't that cold, but that slide was not very comfortable, So I've always tried to pay people back for what they've done for me, but I can only do so much because of the position I'm in, and that's what kills me inside, because I want to help people, but I don't know how to, and I want to get my story out so that I can help people, because I want to be a psychologist. I have big dreams for myself.
Who was the one person that cared about you?
Myself. I didn't have anybody growing up. Nobody at all.